there's one more drawing that I have for you all today. Again, bear with me. I'm going to try and nail this from the jump. And this now, what I'm about to show you, I'm going to try and get the sections right. This part that I'm about to show you now is going to help me explain to you visually why finding your purpose is so important and why everyone deep down, whether they like it or not, desires to find their purpose. It's something that's intrinsically built within us, pre-programmed in our very beings, and every human being falls somewhere into this diagram that I'm going to show you, and this diagram that I'm showing you should be factored into your purpose. And so we'll start at the bottom of this triangle, and if you know me by now, you'll also know I do love a little triangle to explain things visually. And don't worry, this isn't some Freemason Illuminati type stuff. I know when I drew my triangle in the other video, some of you thought that. No, I like geometry, and I find geometry is a good way to break things down simply. Anyways, bottom of this triangle is, I was going to draw dollar signs, but I already drew that, so I'm just going to write it out. Everyone, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, if you're a human being and you exist on a planet, on this planet in 2025, you need money, okay? This is like basic. This is where everyone starts. You need money to survive, to have a shelter, to have food. This is like entry level. Everyone desires money, but not for the reasons that we think we do. In essence, it's just pre-programmed. We need it for survival. Now you get higher up on this and you start to grow a bit more as a human being, and you desire something a little bit more profound, which is community. This can be broken down as intimate relationships, stuff like close friends, general friends, family, a tribe even. This is again still quite a low level human desire, but something that everyone wants and should be factored into your purpose. Even me, I want community, which is why I have my own Discord community, which if you haven't joined yet, would be a good way for you to be a part of a community of people that are purpose driven. Anyways, shameless plug, community, very important, something that everyone wants. We all want family, friends, also romantic relationships kind of fall into this place as well. Admittedly, romantic relationships for some people can be a bit higher up, but if we're talking in a general sense of the word, for most human beings, whether they realize it or not, money is foundational, followed by community, which is also somewhat described as the desire to belong. Now, the next thing on this list is freedom. Okay, now this is very interesting, and these parts of the triangle, I'm going to draw that better. This part of the triangle is very, very interesting. Okay, first of all, this part of the triangle requires high level thinking. Okay, so the average person in their lifetime will somewhat end up in this part of the triangle, but the reason why this level now requires high level thinking is because it's like with anything, and this is why I love using triangles. When you're at the bottom, it's easy to make the climb, you know, to get money, to get community, and experience a little bit of freedom. But for you to now ascend to the higher heights of this triangle, which really is the most rewarding thing that you can do in life, it's a higher climb. You're further up from the ground. You've probably spent more time, put more energy in. And so that's why so few people reach the top. And it's very important that I specify this, because I'm going to now show you some traps and some things that are going to stop you from achieving the pinnacle of your purpose. First one being freedom. Okay, now this looks like there's people that you know that love to jet set and travel and want to see the world and go backpacking and all of these things. Freedom is great. Everyone wants to be free. And I'm sure you've all heard the term of financial freedom, which is basically when you make enough money that you don't have to worry about living life. You can just exist. for a lot of people, this is a good place to be, but you need to be careful, because what happens after that? You know, you go and explore the world, you go visit countries, you go travel, and yeah, this will take maybe 5 years, 10 years, but is that really like a way to live life? Like, you know, there's only so many countries you can visit, so many things you can experience, so many beaches you can sit at, and eventually, whilst freedom is great and I'm not knocking it, it's not the pinnacle. It won't satisfy you in the same way that these other two things above will. And so, yes, I love freedom, and there's a degree of freedom that I think everyone needs in their life, but this can become a trap. So you need it in varying degrees, which is why I'm going to do this. Now, the next thing on this list, and this is one where most people, unfortunately, will ever get to. Okay, this last and peak of the triangle really is for like the 0.1% of human beings. We'll get to this place, right? But the next place is status, right? And this is a very controversial one. Now, I believe personally, all of these things that I'm describing are inbuilt in people, but status is the one where most people, like 99% of people, fail. And what status is basically you going after things that will make other people respect you. Sounds silly, but society is built on status. Status is the reason why Louis Vuitton can charge you £1,000 for a bag. Status is the reason why a Lamborghini costs £250,000. Status is the reason why you see someone wearing a watch, wearing a chain, showing a certain part of luxury to their life, and you're impressed. People know that. Human beings desire status. It's a built-in thing, but it's also a big trap. Why is status a trap? Because it won't satisfy you, okay? Once again, as with freedom, there's only so many watches you can buy. There's only so many cars you can own, houses you can own. At the end of the day, you get these things and you kind of realize that actually they're empty. And this is why, again, and it's a very serious matter, but you find a lot of wealthy people and a lot of people who have climbed this period, once they get to the status point, that's now when the mental health issues start to kick in. You see it with celebrities, business people, people that many in society desire to be like, actually are suffering because they either get caught in the freedom level or they get caught on the status level. When you see this all of the time, and it's funny because I used to see these things, and me, again, I'm a little bit of a philosopher, but I used to wonder, how could it be that these humans that everyone looks up to and everyone desires to be like and has all the things that the average human being would want on paper are so miserable and are using drugs and killing themselves and doing these type of things? And it's only as I learned this principle that I realized these are human beings who have climbed up this ladder but have gotten stuck at status. And status is brilliant. This is, again, 99% of people will want to achieve or get stuck in this status zone, and it's a good place to be at, but it's dangerous. It's not the pinnacle of your purpose, although the degree of your purpose will have status involved. Okay, now the absolute pinnacle of human existence, which I believe only 0.1% of people achieve, is enlightenment. Now, I can't fit the whole word in the box, but you can see it. I'll even draw a little light bulb thing to kind of represent that. Enlightenment. I'm actually happy with that drawing, you know. I'm learning, I'm getting there. I'm improving each video. But enlightenment. What enlightenment simply is now when your reason for living transcends yourself. And so your desires, your motives, the very thing that you go after is bigger than you. Now, you see this with some of the greatest men and women that have ever walked on this earth. A lot of them had some sort of mission or purpose or thing that they knew within themselves they had to do that was bigger than just making money, bigger than having a community, bigger than being free, bigger than status, which is appearing to be successful and have these things. It was enlightenment, transcendence, a higher calling. This is the absolute pinnacle of a human being's life. And is very hard for very few people. As I said, the 0.1% get here. Now, I can't guide you here personally. I will make videos and do things that shared my own experience of how I got here. Ultimately, what enlightenment looks like for everyone will be different, but it has the same definition, which is something in life that you are called to, or that is your purpose, or that you want to do, that is bigger than any of these other things listed in this list. Family, what I've taught you today is so important, and I actually believe to be single-handedly one of the most important things that a human being can ever achieve. I hope, and my desire for you all, is that you reach a phase of enlightenment where you go through and you work out your purpose. It makes you money, you have the community, you have the freedom and the status, but those things become dead to you because you reach a stage of enlightenment where now the very reason that you're on this earth is bigger than you. But today I've given you all the keys, and hopefully this helps someone in finding their purpose. One last thing I wanted to say as well before I go: what you do is different from who you are, and who you are actually is immeasurably more important than what you do. And if I was to actually give you an order to go through things, I would say work on yourself first, your identity, then find your purpose, then make crazy amounts of money. And all three of those things are things that I'm going to be teaching you how to do on this channel. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That wasn't even intentional, guys. I'm actually turning into a YouTuber. This is brilliant. Anyways, see you in the next video. Peace.
It's about drive, it's about power, we stay hungry.